Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a lovely Breitling Superocean 42, a high-quality, value-oriented dive watch in stainless steel. It's 42 millimeters in diameter, 13.6 millimeters thick, 50 millimeters from lug to lug, and it has a spacing between the lugs of 20 millimeters. Now, you can see that the bracelet on this one was made in 2019, and usually the bracelet year stamp and the case's year of manufacture are very, very close, so you get a sense of how old this watch is. Throwing it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, the standout feature is the thin profile, because it uses a basic Swiss lever ETA, not one of the weird coaxial escapement systems that you find on Omegas. This is a very slim watch, not quite Rolex slim, but thinner than Tudor and thinner than Omega, that's for sure. You can see that it would have no trouble slipping underneath this cuff, so if you want to wear this with a suit, you should be good to go, and I don't just mean a bathing suit, a business suit. Now, from lug to lug, you can see it has pivoted end links, so the 50 millimeter lug to lug distance across the case is also the distance across the wrist. And the lugs are nicely shaped. You can see they wrap around the wrist, so I believe you could get away with wearing this on a wrist as small as 14 to 15 centimeters in circumference, and it is very flat. The bracelet's a lovely piece. As you can see, a Pro 3 type bracelet with asymmetrical links. Center links are larger, flanking links are smaller, but there's a slash cut to it. There is a wonderful quality of all satin finish on the hoods of the lugs, the conforming end link of the bracelet, and every facet of the bracelet itself. It's a nice muted upscale look. We have a single fold deployant clasp with a clamshell lock, and then inside the clasp, you can see there are several drilled divots that allow you to use your strap tool to take the spring bar out, dismount it, and then move it around to micro size. Removable links here are fixed by screws, and you have removable links on both sides. The case has polished flanks, satin finished hoods, and you can see there's a sort of concentric circular graining to the satin finish that runs across the lugs, almost as though there were a continuous unbroken sweep of steel running from side to side and around the bezel. The bezel, if you look closely, is of captive design. You can see there are little screws on the outer face. This is something very different from how Rolex and Omega make their bezels. This is something you'll also see on a lot of Sinn watches from Germany. Because of the screws, it's very hard to accidentally remove the bezel, whereas on an Omega or Rolex, you can hit it and snap it right off. Here you have to dismantle it to be able to remove it. Now, atop we have a rubber infill within the bezel, and then we have raised, relieved, and satinated numerals. It is a very sharp and precise and very pleasing 120 click bezel. It feels and sounds like $1,000,000. A good bezel can make a dive watch, a bad one can ruin it. This one makes it, and I'm happy to say it does have a luminescent pearl. Not every dive watch does. You could see tri-Arabic numerals, large indices, and a loomed seconds hand, which not every dive watch has, but I believe every dive watch should have. I've always found that a diving bezel is the best chronograph ever made. I don't time really long interval events, and sometimes it's both more intuitive and easier to read. Simply check that minute hand against the bezel and use that for timing anything from the interval before your LSAT is done to the time before you have to catch a flight. It's very handy. We have a white dial, and it is white, not silver white. You can see that we have blue accents, blue hands, and of course the old school Breitling winged logo that's gone away in recent years as Breitling tries to emphasize itself as a land, sea, and air sports company. Now inside the case, we have what Breitling calls caliber 17. I call it an ETA 28242. It is a certified chronometer, and as you can see, this one is 500 meters water resistant, so it's well protected. We do have a screw down crown. The watch movement is the 2824 in chronometer spec, so it's a bidirectional automatic winder. It has stop seconds, a quick set date, pivots on 25 joules, and it beats at 8 beats per second, or 28,800 vibrations per hour. It is both tough and accurate. Reach out to tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.